So, how y'all doing? How y'all feeling? How y'all living? Hey, Tina. Oh, Azure, hey. Come through, y'all. Come through. Look at that. Oh, shout out to Rome. Rising and shine all throughout this great land. Well, thanks for joining me, guys. Happy to start another day with you all. Super stoked today. We have Andrew Seeley coming on board to share some of his magic. It's really the only way to describe what Andrew has, what he's tapped, and what he offers. Andrew, it's interesting. I've realized a lot of the folks that have come on the live stream are well, either individuals that are my teachers, or in many instances, it's people that started out as students of mine in one way or another, either through mentorship. Andrew did his first teacher training with me, which was my first time leading a teacher training. And in every instance, it's folks that really entered a relationship with me as sort of teacher-student, and then throughout the course of us knowing each other, they really became teachers for me. So it's wonderful to get to share them with you all, and that learning can continue. It's also important that I shaved this morning, so I'm just needing some visual feedback on the scruff situation, which is getting a little real up here in these streets. Full circle, yeah, it's for real. How's everyone feeling today? Feel free to share your, it's a safe space here. How you doing? How's your heart? Thumbs up? You know, shuffling these cards again last night, and sometimes I probably pull too many cards. You know, it's like you pull a card that is so meaningful, and then you later you're like, oh, I'm gonna pull another card. It's like, well, how about that one you pulled earlier? Maybe that was important. And with this deck in particular, it's sort of fascinating. Every time I will pick up the deck later in the day and shuffle it and think oh, I want to pull another card, 9 times out of 10 the same card jumps out at me. So that damn swan just flew right out of the deck again last night, reminding me about elegant power. Oh, hey Ginger. And I got a message from someone also saying they ordered the same deck, and when they got the deck, they shuffled and Swan popped out for them too. So, elegant power. Yeah, so tired, feeling a little heavy. Real talk, I kind of feel the same. This was the first day actually that I set my alarm every night just in case I don't wake up in time for these. And no matter what time I go to sleep, and I'm kind of a late sleeper, or I stay up kind of late, I've been waking up at 6 or 7 every morning, no matter what, even if I go to bed at 2. And this was the first morning where my alarm woke me up at 8:15. So yeah, I guess I'm not the only one feeling a little tired. Oh, that's allowed. I was talking with a friend last night, and I don't know what happened. I was on my computer all day yesterday, working on different projects and things, and it was such a beautiful day, and I was like, I gotta get outside. And I did my little walk around the block every now and then just to refresh my head. And finally at 7, I was like, I'm gonna be done with my work, and I'm gonna walk out. I'm gonna take a walk around the neighborhood. And I walked for maybe 45 minutes. And when I came back home, I just felt weary. And is that the word? Weary or wary? Weary. I felt weary. And my roommate was even like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm just winded from my walk." And then I was just sort of in the funk for the rest of the night, and I didn't even know. My roommate was like, "Are you mad at me for something?" I was like, "No, I'm not mad at anybody. I just sort of, I don't know what it was." And I think part of it was like the neighborhood that I live in LA. I live near downtown, and there's a lot that I love about this neighborhood, but it's a largely underserved part of LA, just in terms of the municipal systems and how it's tended to. And there was just trash everywhere. I picked something up. Maybe, yeah, there was just trash everywhere, and I just felt very kind of swallowed by the concrete of it all. And I was like, I need to get out into nature. I need to like get away from. I don't know my human design. I think this is it, but you can let me know. Yeah, so I'm gonna take a trip this weekend. I think go out and find a hike or somewhere I can just like be clear of the vibes of the city, which, you know, no complaints really. I'm realizing that I need to kind of strike that balance for myself, because as it turns out, when I'm at home for long periods of time, I'm able to fill my time with a lot of projects that keep me busy, but I don't often have a great time like striking the balance of putting the work down and then going and playing, especially when, you know, there's a lot of work to be done. So anyway, that's kind of what was going on with me. Birth date and time, I'll check for you. Sure. Well, I'm born August 28th, 1986. Do the math if you were wondering my age. August 28th, 1986, 1:13 p.m. in Berkeley, California. You now have all the information you need to know everything you could possibly want to know about me. Something else that I realized too, I was talking to my friend and I was like, I feel like, I don't know if this is a thing, but I said, I feel like I'm experiencing expansion fatigue. Like, so many of the things that I have been doing these days, like, just to be transparent, like, are just outside of my comfort zone. It's interesting, almost everybody that has come on to do this live stream, whether it's my mom or other teachers or friends, like, people that have come on and presented very confidently and competently, almost all of them have confessed to me beforehand that they were like quite nervous about coming on here. And what I tell them is like, you know, there's nothing to be nervous about. Like, the stakes really couldn't be lower, in the sense that like it's a free offering. We're all around the world tuning in, wanting just to feel a little bit better and feel connected with each other. And if people aren't into it, they can just switch to another channel. It's not like, you know, you've driven to the studio and paid all this money and there's a high expectation. Like, it's all good. Like, come on and just be who you are and share what you want, whatever's on your heart, and it's appreciated. I think I speak for all of us when I say that. And yet I experience those same feelings, you know, when I'm about to go live for the first time and teach a big class all around the world. You know, later today I'll be speaking with one of my good friends, Jojo, on her live stream, which goes out to thousands of people. And it's an interesting thing to be at home in the space that normally is like my private space, where I'm not being seen by the world, and at the same time being seen by kind of more people than I ever have been before in a live setting. And it's those voices in your head, those inner critics, those part of your psyche that say like, who do you think you are? You're not prepared. What if this? What if that? Like, all those. I'm not immune to those voices either. We all have those voices, and sort of the bigger the audience, the more you're about to be exposed to the world, the louder those voices get. I'm good at, when it's time to do the thing, putting those voices to the side and saying, go sit over there, I'm going to do this now. But they're always there, and I think because a lot of the things that I'm doing right now are new contexts of how I teach, or new audience, or requiring new organization on my part behind the scenes. Those voices get really, really loud, and then once the thing is done, like the satisfaction and the fulfillment is so much bigger, and the expansion of having stepped outside of the comfort zone into a new territory is so beautiful. So it's worth it every time. But it's kind of like working out or training. Like you train, and you introduce new forces into your body, and those forces stimulate you, and they cause you to adapt and expand. But then, like, you need rest days. You need days of rest so your body can, like, catch up with all of this new information and the new ways that you are quite literally growing and expanding. So none of that is a complaint. I feel incredibly blessed right now, and really grateful for the ways that I'm able to show up in the world, and the opportunities that I have to be of service right now. And yeah, it's time for a rest day for me. So there's a lot of expansion going on out here, and it sounds like I'm not the only one. We're all feeling a little bit tired. They're meant to protect us from rejection, but they can actually just hold us back. Yeah. And I think it's important to remember too, for me, that, like, those voices are often trying to protect me from being embarrassed or feeling rejected. But those voices also keep other people from receiving the benefit of what you have to offer. Good. Yeah, and shout out to you, Brianna. I see all the ways you're putting yourself out there right now, and in a new way. Like, I've seen your posts about your live classes, and like, kudos for you for stepping up and rising to the occasion, and presenting yourself to the world in a new way. I don't want to say in a bigger way or a brighter way. You have a big bright energy already, but anybody that you see out there that's, like, stepping up and stepping in to themselves right now so that they can be of service, please don't take for granted that they can do it because it's really easy for them. And the reason you have a hard time doing it is because, like, you're not like them. It's very likely that I am just like you. We just have learned to do the thing anyway, and doing the thing anyway doesn't mean that it's easy. In fact, in many instances, it means that we're, like, thrusting ourselves right in the fire, and, like, letting ourselves be transformed by it. So that wasn't my thought of the theme for today, but that feels real. So that's what's up today. This whole week, I realized I shared this on Monday, but, like, and I don't mean just to, like, this isn't meant to be boastful, or it just is what it is. Like, on Sunday, I taught the largest class of my career, and this afternoon, when I present on JoJo's live stream, I'll be facilitating a meditation to more people than I ever have before. And that voice in my head starts to make it be about me, and then I realize, oh, this is an opportunity. Thanks, Mom. This is an opportunity actually to be of service to more people. This is an opportunity to have more people gathering around a shared intention and shared endeavor and shared practice than ever before. And that's really good. That's really good for the grid. That's really good for the matrix. That's really good for our shared reality. So, like, whatever voice that's, like, in my head trying to make it be about me, that voice is actually precluding me from doing the thing that really can help our world, help our planet, help people. What was your birth location in Berkeley? Berkeley, California. So some food for thought. Sometimes the what feels like humility, or what feels like your wantingness to kind of shrink back, keep you safe is actually the thing that does more damage to the world, because the world actually deserves for you to share your gifts with it, with us. And sometimes, right now I'm sharing honestly and openly, and this isn't scripted or like planned, or who knows how eloquent it is, but it's honest. I'm not like leading a practice right now, I'm just sharing. A big lesson that I've learned this year is that you don't have to do something, you don't have to give people something in order to be of value. Sometimes, often, just giving of yourself honestly and sharing who you are honestly is a gift. So, shout out to that. What I put on the topic of reflection today was gratitude. We talked a bit yesterday about our ability to create and to generate our reality, right? To be not so reactive to the reality that's manifesting around us. Like, feel the feelings, let yourself experience what's going on. But at a certain point, learn how to cultivate and learn how to offer and emit the frequencies that will influence your reality. And that's really what it is that we're doing here every day, is not just being default reactors to what's going on and sort of perpetuating the momentum of our thoughts and actions that kind of accumulate throughout the day. But my mom says I was born at 1:17 p.m., not 1:13. Maybe I knew that. Maybe all of my astrological charts have been a lie. But just to be more proactive about our capacity to offer and emit frequencies of our choosing. And gratitude is certainly a potent one. I get so small when I feel there's so many people offering. Being seen is hard. Showing up in a sea of folks is even harder. Yeah. I feel that too, actually. When I first started teaching online, that was a big thought that came to my mind often. It's like, who do you think you are? All of your teachers teach online. What are you gonna teach that's unique when all the people that you've learned from are already teaching online? Maybe you should just sit this one out. What I've learned is that while that might be true, while there might be a lot of people that are teaching versions of what you offer in different ways and bigger ways, there's no one that's synthesizing the information in the way that you are. Your influences, what is unique to you is what influences you, and how it moves through you and how you communicate it. And there are other people, like there's billions of people on this planet, and there are huge swaths of people that will resonate specifically with how you communicate whatever it is you have to offer. Even if it's the same content as somebody else, it's unique to how you are presenting it to the world. So even if it's 3 people that are going to deeply resonate with your version, your interpretation, your offering, that's 3 people that otherwise would not have received the gift of what you have to share if you chose to play it small. So I'm going to pull a card. What I was speaking about was gratitude, and what I put in the reflection topic was an opportunity to reflect on what you're grateful for. And sometimes when I do that, I'll sort of go on a rampage of like all the things that I'm grateful for now, and then I'll kind of segue that into things that I'm grateful for that hasn't yet happened. In other words, like to express gratitude for the things that are in the process of manifesting as if they already have occurred is one very powerful and potent technique to start to upgrade that content within you, upgrade your own energy system so that you can become a match to those things that you're wanting to experience. So I'm grateful for all of you. I'm grateful for the online courses that I've launched that are able to be of value and of use to so many people around the world. I'm grateful for the health of our planet. I'm grateful for the gift of collaboration and community. I'm grateful that I'm able to express myself honestly and openly, and that can be of of benefit to others. I'm grateful to know a bit more about my human design. Ginger says, I am a manifesting generation with an open emotional center, so I pick up all the emotions around you from the collective. Ain't that the truth? Is manifesting generation, is that a human design feature? Thanks, Andrew. I'm grateful to you, man. I think a lot of us that are teachers of yoga, teachers in general, a lot of yoga teachers would probably describe themselves as empaths, which might be another way of talking about picking up the emotions from others. And I'm very much always identified as being manifesting generator. Oh, great. I'm a manifesting generator, guys. Toss your manifestational recipes my way. I will generate them and imprint them together. Teaching yoga has been the greatest gift for me in terms of understanding the nature of empathy. I won't even say just teaching yoga, life, my relationships, my upbringing. Like, I feel like I have a pretty deep understanding of empathy. And I will say that teaching, as my exposure has increased, and as I've been fortunate enough to travel around the world and teach more people and help more people, that has been the greatest lesson in understanding boundaries. So I'm still learning to understand what boundary looks like when I'm not around other people. And maybe that's what you're alluding to, Ginger. It's like just walking out into my neighborhood. There is still kind of a boundary that I have to put up to not absorb everything around me, not just when someone's asking something of me. There's an energetic form of empathy that can still pervade. All right. Well, this has turned into a bit of a, well, it is what it is. Thank you for all the love and support. I'm going to pull a card now, and then we're going to bring Andrew on. Oh, something just flipped over in here. What is it? Can I tell you what? This deck, man. So I pulled 2 cards yesterday. One was the swan, and the other was the deer. And it just popped right out again. And then a second time I shuffled the deck yesterday, swan came out again, and now here we have deer. I'm going to read you this card because that's what you do. Deer is an earth card. Creatures of the field and the forest. The suit of survival and instinct. Earth creatures represent our relationships with fears and habits. In general, the creatures of this suit are grounded, dependable, and supportive. However, since they're so drawn to routine, they often become stuck in their ways. Several earth cards indicate that consciousness remains rooted in the material plane, or as referred to in yoga as the gross realm. This means practical concerns, money, home, work, and family are at the forefront of the mind, not leaving room for much else. Movement and exercise are especially helpful to counter the stagnation or stuckness that can accompany excess earth element. Hear, hear. You know, for all of my appreciation of the metaphysical realms, I am an earth sign, and it is easy to get anchored and rooted in sort of the routines that seem essential for manifestation. All right, deer. Where are you at? Come on. All right. Okay. This Is my mom on the live stream? Mom, if you're here, you can say what up. Because the deer is loving, intuitive, graceful, and the mother. The deer represents the feminine aspects of earth energy. This energy is available to all creatures, regardless of gender, but is especially potent in new parents. During the first few days, they're fully present, nurturing, and calm. Their inner beauty radiates, and a sense of grace calms the room. A deer personality affects others in this way, drawing them toward a quiet tenderness. The deer card may appear when a birth or celebration of new life draws near, or when a situation calls for absolute gentleness and compassion. When in balance, the deer is receptive, compassionate, and nurturing. When out of balance, the deer is concerned and protective. To bring into balance, spend time in nature or with children. Shout out to deer. Shout out to the mother. Shout out to nature. Shout out to being super gentle and kind and compassionate with yourself. All right. Let's do a very first one was, all deer all day. Brief meditation here, guys. Lift your spine, close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Open your mouth, breathe out. Twice more, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do 30 pumps of Kapalabhati with arms. Let's pull some energy into us this morning. Reach your arms up overhead. Okay. Inhale deeply. Exhale halfway and begin pumping. As you pump, you can start to snap your elbows down like you're doing a pull-up. Exhale, release, reach your arms up. Hold your breath at the top. Stretch your arms up, spread your palms, radiate that energy from your body. And exhale, release. Rest your hands on your legs. Inhale deeply. Exhale fully. 2 more times, reach your arms up, breathe in. Breathe out halfway and begin. Exhale, deep breath in. Stretch your arms up, hold your breath, squeeze, lift from your pelvic floor through your crown, radiate through your fingers, and exhale, release. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Let's do one more. Arms up, inhale. Exhale part way and begin. Exhale, breathe in. Hold, stretch up, squeeze, lift from your pelvis all the way through your fingers. Exhale, release. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Place your hands over your heart. In fact, rub your hands together, create some energy, and then place that energy over your heart. Let the beating of your heart imprint your hands. Let the energy from your hands imprint your heart. Hold your beating heart. Breathe into and out from your beating heart. bless your beating heart. And drop the seeds, 3 potent seeds of gratitude into your heart. Something you are grateful for that has already manifested, something from your past, an experience, an opportunity, a circumstance, a person, something you are grateful for that exists in your life now, something that's unfolding now, for which you feel appreciation. And drop in the seed of gratitude for something that has yet to manifest, but that is in the process of manifesting, like a seed. Our thoughts, our intentions, are seeds that are planted in the soil of this reality, of this universe. We water them with our gratitude, we water them with our breath, we water them with our vision and with our faith. Join your palms together in front of your heart, touch your thumbs lightly to your sternum. Exhale your breath. Let's take one sound of Om. Water these seeds with a vibration. Inhale. Lift your heart, bow your head. Release your arms, lift your chin, and open your eyes. And bring on Andrew. He's going to get us moving and grooving. There he is.
Blessings.
Hey, man.
Thank you for that awesome, guided, incredible, yummy means of getting into the body really getting into the mind. But I feel like, anytime you're breathing, you're getting into your body too. So, yeah. How's your day been?
So far, so good. Get to hang out.
Yeah. I like the deer card too. The deer card reminded me of my mama.
Oh, shout out to moms.
Yeah, moms all around the world. Much love to all the moms out there. Yeah. Well,
so
today,
you're in Costa Rica, yeah? Still?
Yeah, I'm in Costa Rica. You want a little nature shot real quick?
Yeah, give us a dose of that nature.
Let me give you some nature real quick.
Yeah, hit me with that dose.
Bam.
Ugh. Come through. See? Yeah. That's what I'm looking for. I need it.
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah. Andrew, you got some thirst coming through here on the comments.
Oh goodness, already?
Yeah, that melanin though.
That
does
melanin.
Some things. Well, Andrew, wait. See, someone just watched your handstand video. There you go. Andrew's got an amazing handstand course available right now online. If you want to, and also I just watched your I just watched your latest Instagram post, which was quite a compelling handstand video indeed.
Thank you.
I was like, how about those just very, very tastefully and carefully leg choreographed to provide some.
I'm learning, just how to bring more openness in my hips as I move upside down. So I really want to get to the point where I can create arc with my legs, just like I do with my arms.
Goals. Well, if you guys want to thrill, go watch Andrew's latest Instagram post. Be on the edge of your seat. All right, boss. So And just going to lead us through some movement here. As I said, if about 20 minutes or so, if we start to bump up against the hour, we'll go into a second live. It's likely that you're going to be a little hard to hear far away from the thing.
I can also turn down the music. Does that work out better? Can you hear me better?
Yes. Yeah. And I'm going to scoot back too, so I probably won't be able to hear you just because I want to get my body in the shot, but I'll do my best to follow along.
Sounds good. So we'll go ahead and get started in a tabletop position. I like to bring a little rag or a blanket underneath my knees just to create some more space in the knee. And go ahead and tuck your toes, spread out your fingertips, and really begin to root down into your palms. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, begin to move to the right. Just circling over the wrist, creating some space in the palms. And as you move to the right, really feel your weight move over the pinky, then the first finger, then the thumb, and then rotate over to the other hand. And see if you can slow down the movement. And now find that the movement is synchronized with your breath. As you inhale forward, exhaling back, inhaling forward, exhaling back. Nice big circles to the right side, creating some space in the palm, the wrists, the shoulders, the hips, the knees, the ankles. Awesome. Now you'll find yourself back at center. Go ahead and opposite the rotation. Same thing in the opposite direction. Finding a deep sense of integrity in the movement, being harmonized with the breath. As you inhale forward, exhale back, inhaling forward, exhaling back. Really allowing the breath to guide the movement. Taking your time to relax your mind and tap into the length of your spine here. Awesome. Now come to center, and we're going to come high up onto the fingertips. So bringing the fingertips onto the mat, lifting the palms away from the mat. Lift your lower belly away from the mat as well, and begin to shrug the shoulders back. Like a locomotion, really creating space in between the shoulder blades, bringing some fresh oxygen right behind the heart. Deepening the inhales, lengthening the exhales as you draw some fresh oxygen into the backs of the lungs. As we know, there's more lung tissue on your back body than there is on your front body, so we want to really create as much space as possible, bringing some fresh circulation to the back body. Nice. Now go ahead and opposite the rotation. Same exact locomotive movement, circling into the shoulders, now moving forward. See if you can shrug those shoulders all the way towards your ears. And this time, instead of drawing the navel in, we're going to drop the belly down towards the mat. So really finding that arch in the lumbar spine, creating a depth in your inhales, a length in your exhales. Awesome. Now go ahead and plant your palms, both fingertips facing the outsides of the mat. And we're going to do a gentle sway to the right, and then a sway to the left. So I really enjoy getting into the palms, especially in the morning, because the hands are intrinsically connected to the heart. And I feel that when your hands are open and your hands feel really nice and fluid, you really create a deeper sensation of your heart's connection to your heart. And you got to think of all the things that you do with your hands, right? We wake up in the morning, we brush our teeth, we usually wash our face, we maybe write some poetry, check our text messages, maybe type an email. All of that is done with your hands. So we got to think about how we can utilize our hands as extensions of our heart. And really take this as an opportunity to open up your palms, to breathe some fresh oxygen into your fingers. Now we'll begin to bring the right ear to the right shoulder as you lean to the left, and then bring your left ear to the left shoulder as you lean to the right. So bringing the ear towards the shoulder opposite of your lean. Really opening up the trapezius muscles, creating some more space through the neck. Deepening the inhales, lengthening the exhales. Taking your time to lubricate and open the spine. Moving from the crown, we'll make our way back down towards the hips. Awesome. Coming through center. And this time we're going to flip the fingertips so the fingertips face your knees, if you can. Otherwise, you can keep them towards the outside of the mat. We're going to take a deep inhale, heart lifts up. Exhale, draw the navel in, press your palms, and lift your belly button away from the mat. Inhale, heart up, lift and lengthen, draw the heart forward. Exhale, press into your palms just as much as your fingertips. Inhale, lift and lengthen, create space. Exhale, draw in, contract, empty out the breath. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Find the length of your spine all the way from your tailbone to the crown of your head. Exhale, draw the navel in. Really see if you can root the navel towards your spine. Last two deep inhales. Really create space. Allow your awareness to move into that space. As you exhale, draw the navel in. Last one, deep inhale. Deep exhale. Awesome. Now go ahead and bring your knees as wide as your mat and flip the fingertips so that they face forward. Untuck your toes and draw your hips down towards your heels. Spread through your fingertips, reach the palms forward. Inhale up to the right. Exhale down. Inhale up to the left. Exhale down. Inhale up to the right, really lubricating through your side body, creating some more fluid movement now into the middle of your spine, getting your whole trunk to move, really feeling your rib cage move to the right and the left with your breath, deepening your awareness of the movement as you inhale up, exhaling down, allowing the breath to guide movement. Maybe you close your eyes here and take a more meditative stance towards these postures, allowing the breath to breathe into you. As you connect with your intention, bringing a deeper sense of awareness right here into this dimension. You ground your fingertips into the earth, really feel your connection with Mother Earth. Feel your connection with the vibration that brings us all to life, that brings us all nourishment, that brings us all true connection. Last 3 deep breaths on each side. Deepening the inhales, lengthening the exhales, allowing the movement to be guided by the breath. And 1. Come back to your tabletop position. Go ahead and stack your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees. Tuck your toes. We'll begin to pulse back into the toes. So inhaling forward, exhale, press back into your toes. Lift your knees, maybe just an inch above the mat. Opening up the soles of the feet, opening up the toes, creating some more space. It's so often that we forget about the feet. So I want to really give some opportunity to get deeper into the sensation of the sole of the foot. Maybe you're opening up your Achilles tendon here, feeling this in your calves. Last 10 deep pulses. Using the breath to guide the motion. Last 7. 6. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Go ahead and bring your shoulders to stack back over your wrists. Take a deep inhale. Right hand reaches up to the sky. Open through the side body. As you exhale, tap the right shoulder down to the mat. Inhale, lift the right hand up to the sky. Open up the windows of the lungs. Exhale, tap it down. Inhale, last 3 deep breaths. Use these breaths as an opportunity to create more space, as an opportunity to breathe more oxygen into the body, as an opportunity to expand. Right shoulder comes down into the mat. Bring your right ear as far forward away from your shoulder as possible to really get into your trapezius muscle. If you'd like, you can extend your left hand forward, really tapping into your breath here, creating more space in your side body. If you want to take this a little bit deeper, you can extend your left leg back. If you want to explore your balance, you can lift your left heel up towards the sky. Really finding a flex in your toes as you engage your quadricep, lifting up from the lower belly, creating more space alongside your left side body. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, bring the left knee down to the mat if it was there. Press your left hand into the mat. Inhale, rise up. Awesome. I'll just take a little wig, wag, swag of the hips and the arms. I call this like a happy dog. You know, you can be like a really stoked Labrador, or maybe you're a Doberman Pinscher. You could even be a nice little cute Yorkie, you know? Wherever you are, shake your tail like the happiest of dogs.
I've always seen you as a cute little Yorkie, Andrew.
Aw, thanks. You'd be like a super sweet Great Dane.
That's the brand, yeah.
Left hand reaches up to the sky, deep inhale. Exhale, tap the left shoulder down to the mat. Inhale, lift and lengthen, create space. Exhale, left shoulder comes down to the mat. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Last 2 deep inhales. Expand and contract. Last 1. Expand and contract. Left shoulder comes down to the mat. Extend your left ear forward, away from your shoulder, and then extend your right hand forward if you'd like. If you'd like to take the balancing, you can extend the right leg back. Really reaching through that side body, creating more space. And then if you'd like, you can take a lift of that leg, finding that balance. Nice. If you want to get even more adventurous, yes, you can circle around. You can do some movement here. Or you can just find the balance, lengthening. And 1. Bring that right knee back down to the mat. Keep tucking the toes. Right palm presses into the mat. Inhale, rise up. Nice. Now, you can imagine you're another dog, okay? Maybe you're a boxer this time. Could be a Rottweiler. Arr, arr, arr. Maybe you're just a cute little Maltese. Maltipoo. Body your dog right here, right now. Press into your palms. Pedal into your feet. Come into your first down dog. Who would have known down dog was coming next? Deepen your inhales, lengthen the exhales. Begin to pedal your feet. Really create as much space as you can in your side body as you pedal left and right, allowing the breath to flow from the heels into the calves, from the calves into the hamstrings, deepening the awareness of the hamstring to sit bone connection. As you ground into your palms, lift your heels as high up off of the mat as possible. Come high up onto your tippy toes. Swivel to the right side. Place a bend in your right knee. As you do so, inch your left fingertips forward. See if you can stretch through that left side body even more. Now, as you press into your right hand, utilize your breath and create even more space as you lift your left hip up and away from the mat. See if you can relax and release your head. Deepening the inhales, deepening the exhales for 3 deep breaths. Maybe you look underneath your left underarm. Maybe you look underneath your right underarm. Opening up the neck here. Last 2 deep breaths. And 1. Bring the left palm back to the mat.
high up onto the tippy toes, swivel to the opposite side. Place a bend now in your left knee as you extend your right fingertips forward, creating more space through your right side body. Think right hip up to the sky. Utilize your breath. Draw the navel in toward the midline. Create that space all the way from your right hip to your right rib cage. And then from your right rib cage to your right underarm. And then from your right underarm to your right pinky finger. Inhale, look underneath the underarm. Exhale, look underneath the left underarm. Just opening up the neck side to side, creating some space here. Last 3 deep breaths. And 1. Nice. Plant your palms. Tippy toes. Nice and high up on the tippy toes. As you exhale, ground your knees down to the mat. Inhale, hips up towards the sky. Lift and lengthen. Exhale, ground your knees down to the mat. Really lubricating the hip points, bringing some fresh oxygen into the legs, creating some space here. As you tap the knees down, inhale, rise up. Exhale, tap the knees down. Inhale, rise up. Last 3, inhale and exhale. Create space. Nice. And 1. Go ahead and look in between your hands. Bend your knees. Either step or walk the feet toward the hands. Keep a generous bend in your knees. Bring your hands to opposite elbows. Allow your rib cage to rest on your thighs. And gently sway your body side to side. Imagine yourself as the happiest piece of seaweed at the bottom of the sea. Maybe you're in the Caribbean Sea. You could even be in the Red Sea, whichever sea you choose to be in. Just be free. Allow your head, your neck to lengthen, create some more space alongside your hamstrings, your hips, your lower back. As you bend your right knee and your left knee, swing side to side with your breath. Nice. Take a deep inhale here. As you exhale, shake the head, yes. Yes, I love yoga. Yes, I love you, Rocky. Oh, you're my favorite teacher. Big circles in your head. Take a little maybe. Maybe I'll practice yoga every day. Maybe I'll do meditation every morning.
No promises.
I'll read divine books. And shake your head, no. No, I do not have corona. No, I'm not contagious. Now shake your head, yes. I do feel good. Yes, I am healthy. Yes, life is blessed. Take a bend in your knees. Inhale, rise to stand. Deep inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. You can only see half of my body, so I'm going to kneel. Inhale. 3 more times. Deep inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. Deep inhale. Hands reach up, lift up, lengthen up. Expand your energy. Exhale, hands to heart center. Nice. So for the next part of this class, or this gathering, this morning vibration, you guys can take a comfortable seat, maybe grab a pillow, and I would just suggest...
So Andrew, there's 5 minutes left. Is it worth it to open a second live so you're not cut off at 5?
No, I just want to, ding the bells and do a little flute. Nothing too crazy.
Awesome. So take a nice seat where you feel relaxed and comfortable and vivacious. Just gonna move this like so. Move this like so. That works out.
you so much for joining us today. Thank you, Rocky, for providing the space for us to come together. I hope that this moment brings you peace, happiness, love, bliss, wherever you are, and continue to shine bright because you are a star. Each and every one of you.
Thank you. Thank you, buddy. You got me on that one, bud. Do you have another 5 or 10 minutes? We can hop on a second live and chat just a little bit for the folks. I'm sure there's people wanting to hear more from you. My mom says, "Oh, have you met my mom?"
Yeah, I've met your mom once before in San Luis Obispo a long time ago.
Oh, there you go. All right. Well, I'm gonna close this up and we'll hop on a second live. Yeah. Yeah, that's right, Mom. Andrew did my very first 2-minute-hour thing very slow, so I think you met him then.
Yeah.
My mom said, "We did handstands in the park there, right?"
Yes, exactly.
That was beautiful. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you. I'm happy that you enjoyed it. I've been really cultivating a deeper meditation practice and really using sound to amplify that space of healing, and it's been really a very healing process.
Yeah, it's I felt it's interesting how like there's so much juxtaposition and paradox happening right now. Like the fact that I would be experiencing like the sounds of Costa Rica and the flute and the birds through my cell phone, you know, like to be experiencing beauty and nature through this like digital technology, to feel like, you know, the obvious example is like feeling so interconnected with everybody right now and yet not being around anybody, and being you know, as I said before, like teaching some of the largest classes ever and being able to practice with more people around the world than ever before from home, like alone in a room. There's so much paradox unfolding, but it was lovely to be transported for a little bit to where you are. And maybe I'll just have to ignore the travel whatever limitations that just come to Costa Rica. Where are you in Costa Rica?
I'm currently in San Jose. It's a place called Santana. It's like outside of San Jose, like 20 minutes, like the main like San Jose like city. It's kind of like literally it's very similar to living in Venice. It's like just the outside enough where it's like, you know, you can still get there easily, but at the same time it's very tranquil, lots of nature. There's like a river that's right here. You can go on a little sunset hike, and it's a blessing to be here.
Sounds incredible. Well, as soon as I can, I'll find my way over there. Do you plan on being there sort of indefinitely, or when's your?
I mean, the way that things are looking, I feel like, you know, we've got, just today it was announced that, you know, like, I guess like China created this whole thing, and now it's like, you know, world powers are going to be scuffling, and I just don't want to be a part of any of that stuff. I really feel that my heart is with nature and always has been, and I feel really strongly that this is a place that's very sovereign in the sense that they respect and honor the connection that humans have with nature. There's no military. There's all of their funds go towards conservation, and it's just there's a deeper sense of realizing like their motto is pura vida, pure life. Right. Like, come on, like that's the type of place I want to be in. If I'm right now, that's the type of place I want to be. Period. You know. Yeah. So yeah, I'm. That's why I'm here. You know, it was a decision between going to here, Barbados, or Bali. And, you know, Bali, I would have to pass through. Yeah, exactly. The beauty of life, the beauty of abundance is choices, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I think, we were talking a bit before about empathy and boundary, and I've really, over the last several years especially, kind of gone back and forth between this idea of like, I just want to put myself where I'm happiest, and just, when life and so much of our country and our political systems and everything is can be so overwhelming, and seems so corrupt and full of confusion. It's like, I just want to get out. I just want to go somewhere else, go where life is pure. And then there's also that part of me that feels like, no, I do also want to stay so that I can help contribute to the clarity, and help contribute to the
power
change
of
that
technology.
I see happen. And it's always a balance to strike between like, yeah, what you're demonstrating right now is that you can go and you can put yourself where you are happy and where you feel nourished, and you can still have influence back to the mainland. You can still contribute from a place of self-preservation first.
Yeah, I feel that you have your environment contributes to your vibration and what you're able to contribute to the world. So, just like plants, like we have to put ourselves in the environment that is nourishing, that is healing, that allows us to be able to thrive. If we're in an environment where, everyone's cowering to get to the sun, and, the little bit of space that you do have to be able to feel peace of mind is so small, or that, you have to go through traffic or whatever it is to get to that space of peace, it's like that all of that friction, I feel, causes you to put forth more energy to get to that space of peace, rather than already being in that space of peace and then being able to create from that space of tranquility already. So that's a lot of the reason that I made the decision, because I had a breakdown. Like I don't often cry, and I literally was like bawling, and my little sister gave me a big hug and like brought me back too. But it was the night of the 13th, Friday the 13th, I had just like this realization that like shit is hitting the fan. And I honestly, I feel almost like, you ever feel like, oh, like I've played this out in my head enough times to realize how things are going to go down. And you're like, if my mind is anywhere attuned to truth as it has been, then knowing what is going to happen, or thinking what is going to happen, or having any type of foresight into what may happen, I don't want to be there for it. I don't want to be there for it. And I just feel that, to be honest with you, like right now America is not free, and that's a very a lot
Not
of places.
free.
Not free. Yeah, not free. Not free. And so I feel like we have to really band together as yogis, as conscious individuals, as sovereign beings, to really say to our governments, whether we're, wherever we are in the world, that what we truly want is harmony. What we truly want is a place where we can live in happiness and peace without being in fear. And I really think that, there's a lot of people who, quote unquote, have our best interest in mind, but at the same time, the mass population, I would say, the mass population, I feel like they've been living in delusion for too long, and now that there's clarity, delusion has now turned into full-on confusion, which will turn into mayhem, which will turn into God knows what. So I don't want to be there for that. And that's why I've, extricated myself from that space and placed myself in a place where I feel that I can still be vibrant and thrive. And, if all else fails, then I've got fruit and water.
Yeah. Well, I do want to say, for those that are not currently, maybe don't see a path to Costa Rica, like, in the immediate future for them, but need to stay put, need to stay planted.
I am a firm believer that your ability to create and to manifest and to output and be a vessel of light is not dependent on your location. It's dependent on what's going on within you. And, you know, obviously when we can place ourselves in environments where the environment fosters that, that's great. You know, my whole thing politically is like, we're so kind of brainwashed into believing that all of our stories of success need to be rags to riches stories, because so many of us begin with rags. And a lot of what's going on right now, I think, is we're recognizing that how much of our lives collectively, like for the majority of the people in this country, already sort of starts at rags. So you take things away, and it's like the potential of going to riches, potentially even just surviving with rags, becomes like increasingly more and more tight and more constricted. And so that's a lot of the dismantling that we're seeing, is this brainwashing that like any good that comes in your life is going to be because of you, because it's not coming from outside of you. So if you can put yourself in an environment where your baseline is more nourished, then for sure your ability to elevate is going to be much higher. If you can't, then, you know, sorry. And you still have within you everything that you need to be self-reliant to your own harmony and self-reliant to your own power. And so that's why I do these sessions. You know, as I said, if you being in Costa Rica puts you in a position where you can shine brighter and then be a beacon of that light for people that can't be there with you, then, you know, we all do our part to take care of ourselves so we can take care of the collective. The ascension into the new earth, into this upgraded paradigm, has been prophesized for a while now. And nowhere in the prophecy has it said, and by prophecy I just mean there's been talk about this sort of upgrade of our shared reality, and nowhere has it been said that well, first of all, part of that has also included the dismantling and the destruction of the old paradigm, which is what we're seeing happening.
Exactly.
And you have a choice, is if you're going to be destroyed with the old, or if you're going to take the launch into the new. And nowhere has it said that you need to live in a certain place in order to take the launch, that you need to or that you can't live in a certain place, you can't be in a certain part of the world. Like this is an energy upgrade. It's not based on location. But what has been said is that the two things you have to release if you are going to ascend, so to speak, are fear and resentment. So the practices of releasing fear and the practices of forgiving, which for me right now, like a lot of that forgiveness is, like I can forgive a lot of the people in my life. When it comes to like the people in power, as you mentioned, those are the ones that it's hard for me sometimes to forgive. So like I look at that, when I look at everything you just talked about, that does bring up fear for me. So I check in with those frequencies and those emotions. I say, what can I do to downshift and to downgrade and to release those things, so that whatever is unfolding right now, I can be on the wave, on the crest of those that will thrive and be able to help others thrive and acclimate to this improved new normal that we're in the process of creating, and not be dismantled and destroyed by these forces of the old.
Yeah, I feel I completely agree with you. And I feel that forgiveness and acceptance are like two things that we need most now more than ever. And I feel that we're all exactly where we need to be. And I'm not saying that, you know, everybody come move to Costa Rica or go to the next best place or whatever it is. I'm just saying that, you know, within my existence, I felt that that was the next best choice, and thus I made that choice. Yet I also feel that we all are beacons of light wherever we are. So if you're in the heart of LA, like Rocky, or, you know, I've got a friend of mine who's in Lebanon, and, you know, they just went through crazy crisis, full-on governmental breakdown, and now they're finally getting to a place where, like, people are coming back together to help each other. And it's really around this whole COVID-19 thing that people are actually coming together. Farmers markets are going on. I have friends in Kauai where they're like literally banding together. And I feel that's really what is happening here, is people are coming back to human nature, which is connectivity, that we're here to support each other, that we're here not to say that I have more money than you or I have more vegetables, more land, but to say that this is all of our gifts. How can we bring these gifts together to be able to sustain humankind, all humankind? Because essentially we have enough resources, we have enough technology, we have enough. Realizing that we are enough, that we have enough, and then from that place of realizing that we are enough and have enough, being able to create sustainability towards how we can feed the hungry, how we can help those who don't have a home or a roof over their head, how we can help people who are in correctional facilities to get back on their feet, to be productive in society, but not in a society of the quote-unquote normal old, but in a society of the conscious new. And that's really what I think is happening here. Is it's a rebirth, it's a renaissance, it's a reawakening of the inherent knowing that we are in this together.
You're here. And as I've tried to facilitate and remind myself and others during this time, the thing that connects us all, I don't mean this in just like the kind of feeling sense, but in a very literal, real, measurable, energetic, electromagnetic sense, is the organ of our hearts. And to the extent that you find your mind spinning and spiraling and churning and trying to problem solve and survive and figure out what to do, in so much of that we end up creating incoherence between our head and our heart really is the generator of frequency that can influence reality. So now is not the time, in my humble opinion, now is not the time to succumb to these forces. Now really is the time to call upon all of our training, our meditation practices, our pranayama, our yoga, our communities, so that we can shift our hearts, connect our hearts, and collectively upgrade. And that's, you know, I think for many years, the trajectory of my yoga career has been much more focused on like trainings and teaching teachers and helping to kind of facilitate education. And there's been a big shift in me as of recently, where I've realized that all of these different tools and skills that I've been learning are not about teaching people how to teach yoga. I mean, although I still am happy to do that, but everything that I've learned is about helping humanity. And whether you call it yoga, whether you call it pranayama, whatever you choose to call it, doesn't really matter. Now is the time to actually use the tools that you've learned and that you've been practicing. You know, I've been doing these things since I was 18 years old, before I really needed to do them. You know, so being isolated in a home by myself, I'm like, oh, I know how to do that. That's like, I've been preparing for this for my whole adult life, basically. But now is the time to actually help share that with other people. And what I just want to end with saying, Andrew, is like, why I was so emotional taking your class is like, when I think of the list of like experiences in my life where someone has just shown up in my life at the perfect time, seemingly out of nowhere, and then like continue to bless my life, you are very high on that list. I tell the story often. Actually, I'll post it today. Andrew has an amazing podcast called Yoga Revealed. He's been gracious enough to interview me on the podcast several times. And our last interview, which I think we did like a year ago, but it just came out a couple.
Actually, the date was actually in May, so you're right.
It was a year. So Andrew and I recorded an interview a year ago. The turnaround is what it is. But that episode just came out. I'll post it. But I shared the story of how I first met.
It's timeless, you know. I feel like wisdom and true knowing is timeless. And that interview was incredible. I listened to the whole thing again. I was like, it just reigns true for what we're going through right now. So we're
well.
living...
What I really want to say there is just that I'm incredibly grateful for you being in my life, and what you've taught me and what you demonstrate. It's, you know, it's one thing to know a lot about, let's say, yoga. It's one thing to be able to teach yoga. It's one thing to practice yoga. It's a very different thing to fully embody the teachings and to fully be yoga and to live your yoga. And you are the clearest example of that that I can think of, and I'm grateful to have. I'm honored to have played whatever part I have in your journey, and I'm really grateful that I get to receive the blessing of what you have to offer to the world, because it's a lot. So thanks, Andrew.
Thank you so much, Rocky, for being a beacon of light on my yoga journey. You were, always have been, my favorite teacher, and honestly, I can't even begin to describe the synchronicities that have been this journey of yoga, and one of the most prominent ones that has brought me to where I am was walking into that yoga teacher training in my little purple shorts on the first day and meeting you, and just like getting my mind blown as to what yoga is and how it can truly transform our lives. And I really appreciate you being my first real yoga teacher, and thank you so much for that.
Anytime, bud. Can you imagine my shock and delight, day one of my first yoga teacher training, and in walks Andrew, totally shirtless, like shoeless, with little purple shorts on, ready for day one of training. Never seen this guy before in my life.
I thought it was Bikram yoga, man. I had gone to so many Bikram yoga classes. I thought that yoga teacher training was like, you're going to do asana all day, and
you don't hear complaining, Andrew. There could not have been a more perfect begin to our story and our journey together. So I thank you.
Yeah, and I was a renunciate, okay? I came in fully as I am, just this I am.
Well, now look at you. Not much has changed. Just got beads on.
Yeah, exactly. I'm actually naked right now.
Oh,
no, I'm not.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if any of you guys want to thrill, Andrew Seven Sealy at Andrew Seven Sealy. All right, but well, send me your address. I'll come find you in Costa Rica before too long.
Yeah,
send me audio clips of like the birds chirping. I'll just play it waking up here as I hold it down in the eye of the storm here in downtown LA. But I'm feeling full of that Pura Vida, so I'm gonna go spread it around town.
Definitely. I'm going to start some meditations out in nature to really bring people to a space where they can, sit and have that full beauty and, visualize, because I feel like visualization is one of the keys to creating your reality. And all of this will be done, sooner than later. And I'm sure that, we'll be able to re-inhabit this earth as free sovereign beings. Realizing that the truth of our existence is being in harmony with nature. And I feel that that's really coming. So blessings to everyone out there. Thank you guys so much for watching and for commenting and all your beautiful, happy hearts and your encouraging smiles and comments and all that jazz. Like, we feel you, and thus we continue to shine together. So thank you so much, Rocky.
Here. Thank you, Andrew. Love you.
Blessings. Namaste.
Peace. Namaste.
Actually, wait. One big Om. One big Om.
You know, lead it?
Yeah. Take a deep inhale. Exhale fully all the way to the bottom of your belly. Inhale to prepare for Om.
Peace, brother.
See you again.
I feel infused. Thank you guys for starting your days with me, for spending time with me. Thank you for letting me be real and for going on this journey with me. We really are all in this together. huge thank you to Andrew for the light that he is. What a gift that boy is. So in about an hour and a half, I'm going to go live with my friend Jojo Levesque. If you don't know Jojo, she has always been one of my favorite singers, artists, musicians. She is, I don't have words to describe her talent and the influence that she's had on me as a singer. I was fortunate enough to, another wonderful rendezvous. I was in a yoga studio actually doing a training, and she walked out of a class one day. I said, "Oh my God, that's JoJo! Huge fan." And we struck up a conversation, and we really vibed and connected, and became friends, and did a lot of yoga together, and have a lot of fun memories and experiences together. And she does a live stream every day from 12 to 1 over on her Instagram. And she's invited me to come on today to share a little bit. So I'm going to do some movement over there and some meditation over there. But what occurred to me last night as I was kind of going through my own like inner critic stuff and my own nerves and restlessness, which always happens, tends to always happen right before something. You know, I've been on her live stream before, or I've tuned in, and there's usually like, I've seen between 5,000 and 10,000 people that watch that at any given time. So I don't know what the total count is. So the possibility of actually of having another like group global meditation, all of us focusing our hearts on the same shared vision for ourselves, for each other, for our planet, is huge. Like, what an incredible opportunity to join our collective forces to help, again, usher in some love and some upgrade for our planet. So I'm really honored to be able to facilitate that over there. And if you want to be a part of that, head over to, I'm sure it'll show up on my page too, but check in about an hour and a half, and we'll just keep rising and keep shining all day together. All right, guys. I see you. I see you, Erica. Let's walk. Love you guys.